Yesterday, the Tesla CEO and man who has definitely made love to a robot officially purchased Twitter, setting off a wave of takes so hot they burned off my eyebrows and I had to draw them back on. Everyone was going crazy. Twitter is over. Twitter is back. Twitter killed Jeffrey Epstein. But one of the biggest takes came from former Twitter CEO, Jack Dorsey, who gave Musk his stamp of approval, saying, "I trust his mission to extend the light of consciousness." And I'll be honest, people, I have no idea what that means. Yeah? But Jack's clearly on that billionaire speak, yeah. No, I feel like after you reach a certain net worth, you just start talking like a stoned Jedi, you know? It's like, what do I want for lunch? My hunger cannot be satiated, for I crave justice. So, turkey sandwich? Yeah, turkey sandwich? But all jokes aside, Jack Dorsey is a great guy, and I wish him a safe journey back to his home planet. But not everyone is as chill. Yeah, a lot of Twitter users flat out said that they're going to leave the site. That's how much they hate the idea of Elon Musk owning it. To which Elon replied, "I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter, because that is what free speech means." Yeah, it was really beautiful. And I hope that he means that. I really do. I mean, but don't forget, this is a guy who once personally canceled a blogger's Tesla order because of something they wrote about him. So I'm just saying. Yeah. You know, he has nice intentions, but when you have the power to be petty on an epic scale, the temptation to do it can be really hard to resist. Yeah, I don't even blame him. I think it will happen to you. Like, if I bought Google, you best believe I would abuse those autofills. Yeah. Especially around, like, Emmy voting season. You'd be like John Oliver, would be like, children's wig collector. Stephen Colbert, hit and run. Trevor Noah saves puppies. Hey. How did that happen? Me? No. Oh, guys, no. Oh. I just had to, because Stephen Colbert hit the owner, and then I had to, you know, just one of those things. But of course, the person everyone was waiting to hear from was the former king of Twitter, who would still be the king if the throne hadn't been stolen from him. I'm talking about Donald Jet Ski Trump. You see, after getting kicked off of Twitter, Trump started his own service called Truth Social. But now that Elon owns Twitter, everyone wants to know if Trump will come back. And yesterday, the Tangerine Dream responded.
Someone not on Twitter, Donald Trump. A little over a year ago, the former president was banned from the site, but even with new ownership, Trump told Fox News he will not rejoin and instead stick with his own social media platform.
I am not going on Twitter. I am going to stay on Truth. I hope Elon buys Twitter because he'll make improvements to it, and he is a good man, but I am going to be staying on Truth.
President Trump this weekend, Saturday night, at his rally, touting his social media platform, Truth Social, and its plans to take on big tech censorship.
Because of this digital tyranny, we had to give the American people their voice back by building something called Truth Social. Truth Social.
Oh man, did this guy just call Truth Social Truth Central? What was that? My man, you had one job. It's your social media platform, and you messed up the name? It's almost like every time Trump speaks, his own mouth stages an insurrection. That's what happens inside there. But yeah, Trump insists that he is not going back to Twitter. He is going to stick with Truth Social, which so far has been a total bust. Apparently, the app only has 500,000 daily users. And to put it in perspective, Twitter, the thing that it's supposed to be replacing, has 217 million daily users. Yeah. So Truth Social is competition for Twitter, the same way that guy on the plane was competition for Mike Tyson. Also, it doesn't bode well that Trump himself has only posted on Truth Social one time, ever. Yeah, and that was 2 months ago. Think about how crazy that is. People, when he was on Twitter, Trump would send out, like, what, 50 tweets every time he went to the bathroom. But now, he hasn't posted in 2 months? I'm just saying, man, someone needs to get this guy some prune juice. Stat. He's in trouble. Now, apparently, this has been an interesting part of the story. Apparently, a lot of Republicans are secretly thrilled if Trump would never come back to Twitter. Yeah, because they don't like the drama that he would create. And it makes sense. Do you remember what it was like when he was on Twitter? All right? He would say something. He'd tweet something random like, Congress should make it illegal to speak Spanish And then all day, reporters would be tracking down Republican senators in the hallway. Remember, they'd chase them. Be like, do you agree with the president that it should be illegal to speak Spanish? And then the senators would have to come up with new ways to answer without answering, because always those weird press conferences. Remember, they had to evade the questions without angering Trump. It was always them in the hallways just being like inundated. Like the people would be like, did I see what the president tweeted? Well, I have seen Twitter as a company, and I have seen the president as well. And I would love to comment on this particular tweet, but I'm about to eat this shrimp, which will give me a severe allergic reaction. Sorry, I can't talk. I'm dying. Throat closing up. Thank you very much. No more comments. I'll be honest, though. The only reason I would want Trump back on Twitter, the only reason, is because I know, yes, it would probably lead to another term and it would destroy the country, but I just really want to see his Wordle scores. Just to see him every day being like, how could Trung Shek Chel not be a word? I use it all the time. All right, moving on. Let's talk about youth sports. It's how we teach young children to feel inferior from as young an age as possible. There are a few components to youth sports, right? You need the coaches, you need the equipment, you need a McDonald's nearby for afterwards so you can immediately undo all of their exercise, and you need the jerseys to be sponsored by a local business like Joey's Dildo Emporium. And one other thing you need, maybe the most important part, is a referee, which is starting to become a problem.
Next, the bad behavior leading to a shortage of umpires and referees.
It's kind of sad here. Youth sports leagues are having a hard time finding people to officiate games, and they say one reason gets the disrespect not from kids, but from parents and coaches.
There's been a dramatic drop in refs across youth sports in all age groups nationwide. Based on early data, an estimated 30,000 high school referees have quit since 2018.
And one of the reasons was abuse. Abuse and mistreatment by parents and players.
Mistreatment like this. A Massachusetts referee punched on the ice by a youth hockey coach. And this unsuspecting referee plowed down on a California soccer field.
God damn, flag on the play, flag on the play. You see how wild those parents are? What are they selling at the concession stand? Meth? What are you doing? When I see it, I don't blame the referees one bit for wanting no part of this. Of course they're going to quit. It's completely unacceptable for parents to do that during their kids' game. Think about it. What lesson are you teaching your children, huh? That if a ref makes a bad call, it's okay for a parent to storm the field? No. Kids need to learn to kick the ref's ass themselves. Yeah, you teach them self-reliance. Come on, guys. And to me, this feels like a wider trend in society. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed that people just feel like they're getting angrier recently. Passengers fighting flight attendants, road rage is at an all-time high. Like, instead of COVID tests, I feel like the government should be sending everyone edibles, Yeah, that way when parents run on the field, they'll be like, hey, ref, have you noticed that it's called a touchdown, but you don't have to, touch it down, man? Dude, it's like, what? Bro. All right, let's move on to a story about the housing markets. Ever since the pandemic started, housing prices have been going through the roof. And even with the hole in the roof, people are still like, it's fine, we'll take it. But if you really want to know how high the demand for houses is right now, look no further than this listing.
A house in Fairfax, Virginia just sold for more than $800,000, and that comes with a stranger living in the basement. The listing agent told the New York Post someone who had offered to clean the home years ago now lives in the basement without paying rent, and the seller is an elderly man in the hospital. His family can't afford to go through the eviction process. The agent says they received 5 cash offers in less than 1 week.
What? Did they say a stranger in the basement? So people are so desperate to get a house, they're even willing to be in the reboot of Parasite. This is what we're doing now. No, for real. I mean, I'm pretty certain this is the first time that Zillow has a Zestimate for how long until the squatter murders you. I will say this, though. Props to the squatter, yeah? No, because this is someone who knows commitment. They refused to leave to the point that the real estate agent had to include them in the tour. You understand how wild that is? You've got a realtor just walking through the house like, as you can see, we've got 3 beds, 2 baths, 1 creep, and a washer dryer. Very nice. I'm sorry, could you go back? Oh, the 2 beds? I know, right? Yeah. Although knowing real estate agents, I bet when they listed the house, they didn't say the house had a squat, so they probably made it sound like a feature, just being like, and in the basement, you'll find an unsolicited in-home companion. Very in right now. Everyone wants one, everyone. But yeah, that's how crazy this housing market is right now. And think about it, that's what's happening in Virginia, by the way. Virginia. Yeah. New York is on another level. You want to see real crazy? Come to New York. Yeah, here you pay $5,000 a month and you still have to share a futon with the clown from It. Hey, do you think maybe you could close your eyes? You know, just a little bit you know what, never mind, that's fine. They say you should wash your makeup before you sleep, you know. Anyway, good night. And finally, that movie's going straight to DVD. Very popular, very popular. Finally, if you've ever tried to get work done in a coffee shop, you know that it's not easy to stay focused. You know, there's always people coming in and out. You've got to ignore the distracting conversations people are having, and you've got to pretend that you didn't burn the shit out of your mouth like a loser who's never drank coffee before. But now, in Japan, there's a new kind of cafe that'll help you stay on track.
Well, writers under deadline go to Tokyo's manuscript writing cafe with an understanding they can't leave until their work is done.
Okay, and there was some prodding thrown in to make sure that they buckle down and finish. Customers, when they walk in, write down their names, writing goals, and the amount of time they need to finish. Then the cafe staff holds them accountable with 3 levels of progress checks: mild, normal, and hard. Customers who choose mild only get a verbal confirmation when they pay. Those who choose normal get a progress check every hour. And for those who decide to go hard on themselves, they will feel silent pressure from staff who will stand frequently behind them.
You say silent pressure? What is that? That has to be the most Japanese thing I've ever heard. Coffee shops where they shame you into being efficient. Yo, coffee shops are not about being efficient, all right? They're about spending an hour trying to figure out the difference between a scone and a biscuit. That's what it is. The difference is you can charge twice for a scone, yeah. But this attitude is why people in Japan are so stressed out, man. Constant pressure to be perfect. They don't need efficiency coffee shops in Japan. They need black barbershops. That's what they need. Yeah, people in Japan are stressed. If they had black barbershops, you wouldn't have that. You need a space where you can chill, spend time arguing about topics that don't matter. You know, guys cutting your hair like, are you kidding me, Shinzo? Man, if Mothra was around today, Godzilla wouldn't be shit. Godzilla wouldn't be shit. Don't play around with Mothra, baby. Oh, shit, I got your line all wrong there. My bad, man. You be all right, you better just wear a hat. Like, I'm not sure the Japanese approach of judging someone silently will work, especially not in America, you know? Here they should make it that if you don't finish your screenplay, one of those hockey parents shows up and beats the shit out of you. Just Here's the only issue with this story, though. This Japanese coffee shop say they will help anyone become more efficient, but they don't want to know what you're working on. I feel like that could backfire badly. You know, just like, have you finished your work? He's like, yes, my manifesto has been completed in record time. Like, what now? Yeah, let's do it. All right, that's it for the headlines. But before we go, let's check in on traffic with our very own Rowan Jr., everybody.
What's going on, man?
What's happening, man? What's going on? What's going on?
I mean, you know, it's good.
Good to see you. That's right.
You know, progress is a process, but I'm out here like a pigeon at the bakery trying to get my bread up, man. I'm good, baby.
Wow, I don't know what that means, but thank you, Roy.
Yeah. Now, real quick, before all of that, like, the thing with the coaching and the parents and attacking the referees and all of that, the issue is that if you want your kid, like, the problem is the parents being there at the game. You want your kid to be good. That's why you're behaving that way. But we all know that the secret to your child being good at sports is to not be in their life. Just don't be present.
Well, no, Roy, that's neglect.
No, that is called preparation. It's called preparation to make your child better. Trevor, I don't want to get into the statistics, but the fewer parents you have in your life, the better you are at that sport. Everybody knows that.
What?
Bro, I was great at baseball. I was great at baseball. Second grade, my mama came home and she told me that her and my daddy was getting back together. And I was like, well, that's it then. Because I'm not going to be good at baseball if y'all going to both be in my life. You have to remove one of the... Neglect is the real MVP, dog. I'm telling you, trust me. Like my child. My child. I love my child. We both in his life. He ain't going to be good at baseball. He played chess, he did the piano, he speak another language. He is doomed. You can't get a jump shot doing all that. You can't do that, man. And then also with this, with the whole Japanese thing, with the cafe.
Oh yeah, the coffee shop.
You can't, like, if you want people to be efficient, you can't make them comfortable. That's part of the problem. You ever been in a cafe? It's free Wi-Fi. It's music, jazz music playing. They got the nice seats with the cushions. You don't want to get nothing. You ever ate dine-in at a fast food spot?
What do you mean, like a fast food spot?
Like Popeyes or somewhere, like McDonald's. You ever just sat down in the dine-in at a fast food? You ever seen somebody getting work done at a fast food spot?
Wait. You can sit down at a Popeyes?
I wouldn't recommend it. You can. You should probably get it to go. But like most of these places, a fast food spot is built to keep you from procrastinating. The chair's bolted to the floor, ain't no cushion, you can't even recline in that thing. So you ready to get up out the door. The fewer seats, like you can get coffee at a gas station, right?
Yeah, you can.
Is there a chair at the gas station?
No.
No, there's not, because they want you to get your ass back out there and get to work. If you have a chair, you procrastinate. Why you think they got that squatter in Virginia? Because they got chairs in that house. If you had no chairs in that house,
think of that.
A squatter ain't nothing but a professional procrastinator, and you got a chair. Why you think that happened, man?
So if they didn't have a chair in the house, you don't think that person would be there?
Absolutely not.
Huh.
I'm an expert, man. Let's get to these roads. Let me ask you a question about this.
Yeah.
Why do I always have to do the traffic?
Why?
Because it's always bad. It's always this shit. And then people associate that, but then you put my name to it, Roy with the traffic, Roy with the traffic. Then they associate me with that when what it should be is Roy with the traffic, brought to you by Trevor Noah.
No. It's not, but it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Like, no one's hating you because of the traffic.
You don't see the tweets that I get on a regular basis about this traffic. I don't appreciate that. Also, speaking of which, why don't I have a chair? Why I can't?
Well, because I want to inspire you to keep things moving.
Oh, well, let me help you out then.
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you so much for that, Roy Wood Jr.